if I was sort of ruled by the view that other people took of me, I'd be all over the map like a roller coaster, because it goes up and down, you know. People change their minds, they swing back and forth.
It's Radio 2, and I'm delighted to welcome into the studio, onto our show now, Lana Del Rey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well indeed, thank you.
Great.
You're so charming, and it's really lovely to meet you, having played the music for a long time, and it's, you know...
I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
No, that's okay. I just want to start out and just say, because I hate doing those wary interviews, because I've been interviewed myself, where you're just going, when they get put in the killer questions, so we're not going to go near kind of Saturday Night Live, anything like that, because you must be sick of it now.
I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, it's all right. You know, it sounded okay to me. And the important thing was that, you know, I talked to my beautiful family beforehand and afterwards. I suited up, I showed up, I did what I wanted to do. So, you know. You're
so exposed doing those kind of things, and they're such a big deal, aren't they? Those kind of TV programs and those performances, it's like, oh.
Yeah, but we've done a lot of television, me and the band, so, I mean, it was big, but also that was like our, you know, we've done so much television in Europe, so.
What I was going to say was, I just imagine that you'd be quite bruised or breathless just by the people's reactions, really, to you as a performer. That's the one thing that, having gone through all the papers over the weekend, where you are everywhere.
Well,
and I just thought, what can it be like to
that's
for
the
you?
thing. I mean, people just have a strong reaction regardless. So I kind of know that that's just going to happen.
And did you intend that in the very beginning?
No, because by nature I'm not a very controversial person. Like, you know, I've lived a really quiet life for a long time, and, you know, even the songs are sort of reflective of that I write. You know, they are sort of ultra personal and tailor-made just for myself. So, you know, no, my goal was never to elicit a strong reaction, just because I didn't really know what to do with that.
The other side of what people think is that there has been such an outpouring of love and people defending you left, right and centre. That must be a good thing to be aware of.
I mean, I'm definitely aware of it, but again, you know, like I've been saying today, if I was sort of ruled by the view that other people took of me, I'd be all over the map like a roller coaster, because it goes up and down, you know. People change their minds, they swing back and forth. And so I sort of do the same thing I've been doing, which is just kind of, I'm still writing and still, you know, working and singing. So I know that there are people out there, and I know that they're talking, but I don't listen too much.
So as a child, I'd imagine that you were a performer right from the off. Am I right?
Not really. I mean, I was a singer. I was singing with my mother when I was really little, at home, and then I was in like a play when I was really young, but after that I was never in a play again. I don't think, maybe one. But
so you weren't kind of that natural show off and didn't kind of crave the attention and just love performing? That's not you?
No, not really. I mean, I loved to sing, but, you know, I was singing like in church and in school, but I was never in the spotlight.
It was more about the voice and the performance. Yeah,
it was very much about the voice. And before I was a singer, really, I was a writer, and so, like in school, I loved to write and liked to write stories, so that was more something I was interested in.
Did you write poetry?
I did, actually. Yes, for myself.
Do you still have them? Do you have books of poetry now?
No, I don't. I don't know where they are.
And in terms of music then, when you became aware of music and the artists that you really loved, who were those people that you just adored?
I sort of found different people in different phases. I found popular music later on in life, or later on in my life. You know, I loved Nirvana, really, Bob Dylan, I love Elvis, and Frank Sinatra. When I heard his voice for the first time, I couldn't believe it was real. It was so beautiful. So I really just liked the masters of every genre.
And did you grow up with a lot of music around the house? Your parents, I presume, were big music fans, or did you have to seek it out yourself?
We didn't really listen to too much music in the house, although my dad really liked the Beach Boys and Jimmy Buffett. My mom liked, you know, Carole King, but we didn't really listen to it in the house, except like when we were taking road trips in the car, things like that.
So when did you come to Nirvana then? Do you remember when you first heard them?
I do. I mean, it's funny. I saw a Nirvana video. I saw Heart Shaped Box on MTV when I was 11. We didn't have TV in the house, but it was at my friend's party, and I had walked by the bedroom and saw a Nirvana Heart Shaped Box on the television, and I was really struck by them. but I didn't find them again until I was 18. So
it was, in a way, it was the imagery and
it was the
poetry
imagery,
of what they were
actually.
doing.
Yeah, and it was the way, it was like the look that he had in his eye. I felt like I didn't know what it meant, but I understood what he was like feeling.
And that makes perfect sense, knowing what you're all about. So let's play it. We'll play Nirvana, and this is Heart Shaped Box. Heart Shaped Box from Nirvana. It's Radio 2, and we have Lana Del Rey here with us at the moment. So can you play musical instruments, or you?
I can.
You can. What do you
play guitar.
Okay, of course.
I haven't played in some time because, I was sort of, when I was performing in New York, I was never very good, but I let the boys do it now.
Yeah, and what about going to see bands? Who did you first see live?
That's a good question. Let's see. I'm not a big show person. I went and saw all the kids who were playing around town when I used to play in New York a lot. So there were just different singer-songwriters. And then the only other person that I really saw who was popular was Bob Dylan. I saw him twice. And other than that, I've never even really seen that much live music.
Sorry, why is that?
I don't think I had money. But now...
so you weren't kind of hanging out with a whole load of friends who just...
musicians and things like that.
Musicians or just big music fans, because sometimes that's when people go and see bands live, because it's a group of mates who hang around. Whereas you're much on your own.
Well, I always planned on finding those people, I always planned on finding my group of people. But for some reason that didn't really happen. But I'm actually finding more people that I really love now in music. But
where is home at the moment?
Well, home is sort of all over the place, but I've been living between Brooklyn and the Bronx for the last 7 years in Manhattan. And yeah, that was where I was for some time, and then been coming back and forth to London for the past, year and a half or longer, maybe.
Yeah.
Just coming back and forth, yeah.
Okay. And how are you with hotels? Do you love the luxury of being in a hotel, or do you feel a little bit kind of alien when you're in hotel rooms?
When I was young, I always thought I'd be the kind of person who would live in hotels and love it. But then I found Brooklyn, and I wanted to stay there forever. But when I'm in Santa Monica in California, I like the motels on the beach. And in London it's okay, but it's sort of more lonely here in hotels, I find. But, yeah.
Okay, so let's have some more music. And you've chosen some Elvis.
Yes.
Okay, tell us why.
Well, I felt the same way when I heard Elvis that I felt when I heard Frank Sinatra, which was I just couldn't believe that his voice was real. It was just gorgeous. And then I actually saw pictures of him first, and I couldn't believe he was a real person. He was just epic. So, yeah.
Okay, and the track that you've chosen for us?
Edge of Reality.
Just a couple of quick fire questions. What's your greatest extravagance?
My greatest extravagance? Probably just being in music.
Doesn't feel like a real job?
Feels like a luxury.
But hard work at the same time.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. What's the hardest part of it? Does the writing come naturally? Does the being in the studio, the producing, or I bet it's this bit, isn't it? It's the chatting.
No, I kind of like talking. The writing and the studio work is all good. I don't know, probably the traveling is the hardest, yeah.
And which artists do you look to for inspiration when it comes to artists with an artistic vision, I suppose? The imagery, were there people that really inspired you along the way?
It's funny, my inspirations haven't come from other artists, lyrics exactly, but I would say in terms of maybe how people lived their lives, I really am inspired by sort of Bob Dylan's path, and also, I don't know, maybe someone like Leonard Cohen, who kept it quiet but gorgeous at the same time. I think that is sort of an inspiration.
Okay, what's your idea of complete contentment?
I'm really happy every day, I'm happy all the time, so no matter where I am.
Greatest fear?
I really don't like flying, I have to say, and I really don't like spiders.
Spiders and flying.
And death, of course.
That's a given. Do you read? And if so, what are you reading at the moment?
I do read. I like to listen to things on books on tape. I'm listening to I've already read it, but I'm listening to a biography of Elizabeth Taylor, her most famous one. I don't know, it's just trashy. Entertaining.
I think you're either a biographer's person or you're not,
Yeah, definitely.
You don't do science fiction, do you? Or horror? Do you do horror?
Do you know what? I don't do either of them. Because I'm scared.
Okay, and what talent, aside from being a performer and singing, do you have?
I don't think I have any. Let me think hard. I don't know.
Did you win any medals when you were at school? Was there anything that you were brilliant at? Beat anyone at?
No. No.
Okay, well, I think probably the talent that you've got is okay. That's fine.
I hope so. I'll try and run on it for a minute.
Current state of mind?
Grateful.
And your parents, how are they with you and your situation at the moment?
They're good. Everyone is sort of like in acceptance and knows what's going on. And so, I don't know, they're in Florida right now.
When did you last see them?
I saw them for Christmas.
Okay. And what's your recent acquisition, something that you've discovered recently that has made you very happy?
I mean,
I'm looking at your leather jacket, to be honest with you. I'm thinking, that would make me very happy.
I do. I love my beautiful leather jacket. My friend Johnny gave it to me. It's just gorgeous. So I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.